16, TCU invades Annapolis, riding an 8-game win streak, and the Horned Frogs will unleash an attack that features the nation's second leading rusher, LaDainian Tomlinson. Welcome inside the College Football Saturday studio in Los Angeles, alongside Kellen Winslow and Artie Gigantino. I'm Kevin Frazier. 4 games, 4 ranked teams, a great day of football here on the net, and we'll start with maybe the best back that a lot of people have never seen.
LaDainian Tomlinson out of TCU, Kevin. Here's a guy with a great combination of speed, great hands, the ability to break tackles. He runs with a great deal of power. Watch him coming out of the backfield. He takes his pitch, tucks it away, turns the corner, and then runs through a tackle here to get good yardage. Artie, today, this young man will run for big yardage against Navy, maybe 300 plus.
Yeah, and if Navy doesn't gang tackle him, he probably will. Navy's defense better bring their A game in order to stop him. They have got to gang tackle this big, great back. And by gang tackle, we mean 5 or 6 guys on the ball carrier. The second thing Navy's got to do, they got to get back into an offensive rhythm. They've only scored 26 points this year. And lastly and not least, they've got to block number 14, Aaron Schubel, who leads the nation in tackles for losses. Might be a long day for the Naval Academy today.
All right, time to get you out to Annapolis. We'll return at the half with scores and highlights on the Nissan Halftime Report. But right now, let's join our crew in Annapolis, Barry Tompkins and Mike Mayock. And guys, we know the crab cakes are good in Annapolis. It's the run defense that the midshipmen need to worry about.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely true, Kevin. As a matter of fact, I had a few shells in my crab cakes last night, and that's a small problem compared to what Navy has got to deal with today. TCU, Mike, is a team that's philosophy is we're going to beat you to the edge, both offensively and defensively, and that poses a real problem for Navy today.
Yeah, it really does, but it starts with their free safety, Chris Lepore. He's one of the most aggressive defensive backs in the country. For them to have a chance today, he's got to play that option game extremely well, inside out to the pitchman, and we all know who the pitchman is. I can't wait to see Tomlinson and Lepore in space one-on-one. Let the better man win.
And Tomlinson, of course, is a given. He makes TCU what they are, but I'll tell you what, TCU is an awful lot, even without LaDainian Tomlinson.
Don't discount them because of their schedule. Forget Nebraska and Florida State for a moment. There's 8 or 10 other teams around the country that can compete for a national title. TCU is one of them.
You know, they're all big and they're all quick. Every one of these guys, all 22 starters, bench press 400 pounds. That includes the quarterback. This team is very tough.
Yeah, and on defense, I'll tell you who I like. Their defensive end, Aaron Schobel, is one of the best defensive linemen in the country. 10 sacks a year ago, already has 6 to lead the nation. Rare combination of great athletic ability and what I like, a tremendous motor.
Yeah, there's all kinds of heroes on this TCU team. It's going to be a tall task for Navy. There's no question about it. Charlie Weatherby's always got a bag full of tricks, and I'll tell you what, he's going to need everything he can muster today. Is manning the gate. That's Lance Corporal Justin Bridges, the man who says you can come in or you can't come in. We talked him into it yesterday, didn't we, Mike?
Yeah, he made a mistake, too.
We're at Memorial Stadium here in Annapolis, Maryland. Beautiful site for a football game and a great day for football. We're going to have the flyover in just a moment, and I'll tell you what, if you're not ready for this, this is something that last time put me on the ceiling.
You know, there are 2 things I remember as a player in college. One was playing at the academies in the flyover, and the other was that big old horse at Florida State. They both were equally terrifying.
I don't think there's any question about it. We, for years, did games out in the Pac-10, and when we were doing local teams going down to USC, they used to have that horse down there. We were taking bets on when that horse was going to die. It would take so many laps during the course of a game.
I remember coming out. Chief Osceola was on the horse at Florida State. I was a captain on a night game. They came out, and he throws a flaming spear at you. It goes right over your head, and I turned to the other captain, and I said, you know what, Timmy, we're in trouble today. He said, why? I said, because the mascot can kick my butt.
Would have been your job to intercept it, right? And here comes the flyover, and this is something special, folks. Just keep an eye on this and see if you can appreciate it on television like we do here. Look out.
Oh, my God.
That'll wake you up.
I hope my son's still up in the roof.
Meanwhile, to the football game, and Navy all jacked up here. They feel they've got a chance. They say they see this TCU offense every day in practice, and there is something to be said for it, but then emulating the speed is another whole deal altogether.
Yeah, and let's make no mistake about it. TCU, talent-wise, is a top 10 to 15 team in the country. No question. Navy is not. Navy has to hang their hat on 2 things, emotion, and number 2, the fact that they play against this option attack every day of the week.
Well, TCU, as we said, yes, LaDainian Tomlinson, a bona fide Heisman Trophy candidate. I like this guy a lot, and I promise you, you will too before the end of the day. But they are a lot more than that, too. Charlie Weatherby, though, as we said, he's the guy who's got every trick in the book. They won the toss, incidentally, and deferred, so they're going to kick off, and it's not beyond Charlie to go onside kick here.
Now, he did it against Georgia Tech, game 2 of the year, opening kickoff, kicked it off, got the onside kick. He did it also a year ago against Georgia Tech. This guy on special teams always has a wrinkle.
And he was talking about that yesterday. He's got some stuff he's able to do here, too. And Dennis Franchione, on the other hand, I just think he's got this program not only headed in the right direction, but this guy has won everywhere he's been. So he'll to kick it off, and they kick a squibber. That was not an onside kick. It's going to be picked up by Dunbar at the 12-yard line, and Dunbar almost broke it at the 23. Take a look at the offense for TCU. Casey Printers, and he gets overshadowed by Tomlinson, but before he's all done, this guy also, I believe, is going to be the real deal. Perfect guy in this system. Throws when he has to, able to run the option, and of course Navy's job today will be to keep him in possession of the ball and not the pitch back. An experienced offensive line, and this is really what makes Tomlinson and Printers go. Good from one side to the other, very strong. Tomlinson, Purcell the fullback, and they will use 2 fullbacks, and both of them can block, and they got a lot of guys in the wide-out position who can go get it. It's a good football team.
We talked about it in the open, Barry. I really believe that outside of Nebraska and Florida State, this is one of the teams in the country that can compete for a national title.
Got a little conversation going on amongst the officials and the Navy coaching staff down at the opposite 25-yard line, and I don't know if this has to do with the game clock, which is running down as we speak here.
Right.
And I think that's what they're doing. They are allowing for the 9 or 10 seconds, and it's going to be 9 seconds on the kickoff, and now we're set to go.
There we go.
So finally, we'll have our first offensive snap. And this time it is George Lane who gets to start at fullback ahead of Purcell. Printers on first down on a draw play to Tomlinson, and Tomlinson gets about 3 across the 26-yard line. Navy defensively, Wimsatt, the captain, clearly the leader of this defense was Zetson Wagner. They play a 3-4 alignment, although really it becomes a 5-2. Shaka Martin, Hamilton, Bowen, and Carthen. Carthen, a first-year freshman. And the secondary, and boy, are these guys going to be under siege today. Chris Lepore, the All-American, and he's going to be a guy to watch. This time, Printers rolls out, throws a comebacker for Quint Ellis, the tight end, and that's going to be enough for a first down.
Oh, he had 3 guys open that time. Printers could have gone deep, came underneath Quint Ellis, and Navy's got their hands tied on this play action. They're so aggressive on the run.
So they gain 9 on the play, and it'll be a first down TCU at the 31-yard line. TCU likes to run outside, but if it's not there, they're going to take the inside, and that's what they've done so far today. 2 tight ends now on first down. Here's a pitch to Tomlinson. Tomlinson gets the gap, gets to the 40, still on his feet, and run out of bounds at the 45-yard line. And right there, Mike.
Yeah, it sure is. And, you know, one of the things, Barry, you and I both talked about is what the fullbacks and the guards in this offense do at the edge. And what they do is they knock down corners. Watch what happens to the safety, DeJuan Cromer, number 7, left side of your screen. He gets knocked down. That opens it up for Tomlinson. And before you know it, it's 6-7 yards. You don't even know he did it.
They like to run to the short side, and they will do that often. They particularly do it in this particular set. Second down and a long 2. They bring Dunbar in motion, and Printers will throw. As time, throws, and the ball is caught this time by Tim Maiden. And that's going to be another first down for TCU. So far, make it look easy.
This is why they're such an efficient offense. Oh, everybody knows about LaDainian Tomlinson. Play action. Look at that happens now. Just a little curl route. Maiden sits down against the zone. The inside backer, Bowen's got to hustle out to make the tackle. You can't just isolate on Tomlinson, but if you don't, he'll kill you.
This time they bring Williams to the near side. And here's the pitch to Tomlinson. And Tomlinson gets a little gap, midfield, 45, tripped up as he gets to the 41-yard line. And that was goodbye had Chris Lepore not gotten the fingertip tackle.
We talked about it in the open. Free safety Lepore in space against Tomlinson. Watch right here. He's filling inside out. Take a look at it from a free safety's perspective. Toss sweep. Now he's got to get up there, get aggressive inside, read it to the outside, diving tackle. If he doesn't get it, let me tell you something, LT's still low.
Yep. Second down, about 3. Printers again, rolls and will throw, caught by Maiden. First down, Maiden at the 30, at the 25, and down at the 24-yard line by DeJuan Cromer. Boy, this is a machine so far.
Yeah, and you know what they're doing? They're really isolating on Navy's corner. And watching tape of Navy, I really felt like their corners were overmatched a week ago against Boston College. TCU, of course, has noticed that. A little play action, one-on-one on the edge, and if the corners don't make a tackle, it's all over.
Gain of 18 on that play, and now it's a first down at the 24-yard line. Long count this time by Printers. 2 tight ends, 2 wideouts, and a fumble. Printers gets right on it. A little bad exchange between Garner and Printers, and you won't see that very often.
Sophomore quarterback. Really was impressed by him yesterday when we had a chance to talk to him, Barry. He was intelligent, real good presence about him. He's the kind of guy you want to, you talk about at Navy, want to be led into battle. That's the kind of guy I'd follow him about.
Yeah, it was interesting talking with both he and Tomlinson, and you and I both came away saying, boy, these guys are not only outstanding players, they're outstanding people.
Yep.
2nd and 10. Here's the option and the pitch to Tomlinson, and he's got a little gap again. Tomlinson now to the 15-yard line. They'll mark it at the 16, but Tomlinson getting it in chunks. A gain of 8.
Interesting again, the free safety Lepore, the All-American candidate, he's one-on-one out in the open field, and they actually tried to bring a blocker on him. You get a good look. Well, they got Purcell out there in front.
Tomlinson now 4 carries, 25 yards in this first drive. 3rd down and 2. This time in the power eye, and Printers again on the option. Fakes the pitch, will keep, and he is going to be stopped short of the first down. Mike McGee comes up from the linebacker spot. So now it'll be a 4th down.
It's a huge play by the Navy defense. Lepore in the corner took away pitch. Printers tries to take it inside. Nothing doing. Mike McGee, the inside linebacker, makes a great play.
So it'll be Kalaki to try a 33-yard field goal. And I think at this point Navy will take this.
Absolutely.
What a length for Kalaki, and he gets this one up, and it is good. So first blood is drawn by TCU on the opening possession. They end with a 33-yard field goal by Kalaki. 10:50 remaining first quarter, and TCU leads Navy 3-0.
Company that believes knowledge is critical in managing risk? Without question, the St. Paul.
Back 3-0 ball game. 10:50 remaining first quarter. Dennis Franchione will talk it over with his offense. He will double as offensive coordinator. Calls all the plays. An efficient drive that was slowed by that bad exchange between Garner and Printers. They settled for a 33-yard field goal, and now Navy will have it for the first time. Gaddy will be one of the deep men for Navy, along with Rashad Jamal.
And Barry, this is where the Naval Academy really needs to shoot some time off the clock. Secure the football, good drive, keep it out of their hands.
Kickoff is going to be short and headed for Gaddy at about the 3-yard line. Gaddy right up the middle, slips the first man, tries to bounce it to the outside. Stopped at the 25 by Cedric James. Take a look at how Navy comes to the dance. Brian Broadwater back after just a week ago. They thought he had a fractured larynx. See his numbers for the year, and they will throw it a little bit more than your normal Navy team. Offensive line trying to get themselves gelled. They've had a few problems. Hoot Stahl is the experience at tackle. Jamal, Lambert, Bach, Bailey, and Rampani are the skill position players. Lambert, their best running back, although Donnie Fricks is getting a start. And here is the pitch to Fricks. Ooh, Fricks is going to really be creamed short of the line of scrimmage. Chad McCarty and Curtis Fuller just bouncing. Take a look at how they line up defensively. McCarty, Worthen, Burrell, and Schobel. Take your pick. Two guys who will be playing on Sundays, Worthen and Schobel. Bayer and Brazil will be the linebackers, and Brazil is very active also. As we said, this is a solid football team on both sides of the ball. And in the secondary, Curtis Fuller, big-time player. You saw him on that last play. Lambert on second down gets to about the 31-yard line, picks up about 6 yards.
And this is what I meant up front by being, you've got to be patient defensively against this option attack. They are relentless. They'll keep going, grinding and grinding. 2nd and 12 for these guys, Barry, is a rundown. And you've got to be patient on defense.
Lambert picking up good second down yardage, gives Navy a 3rd down, and it's a long 4. They come with a trips left this time, single setback. And they give to Lambert straight ahead. Lambert will be stopped about 2.5 yards short of the 1st down. Aaron Schobel, first man to it.
That was an unbalanced line for Navy. TCU's got to recognize that and move another player front side because they only had 2 people backside.
And Navy will have to give it up. So 3 and out for Navy. That is not what Charlie Weatherby wanted. Navy's just had trouble getting into the red zone. Jason Goss will be the deep man for the Horned Frogs, and he can bring it. Punt was almost blocked. Instead, turns out to be a pretty good punt that Goss fair catches at the 21-yard line. So TCU will start at the 21, leading 3-0. Well, tomorrow we're bringing the tailgate party to you with the NFL This Morning on Fox Sports Net, the most raucous and rockin' Sunday morning pregame show anywhere. Now, a full 2 hours of morning madness just to get you ready for kickoff. Chris Myers leads the NFL This Morning breakfast bunch with chalk talk, trash talk, bagels, donuts, and even comedian Jay Moore returns to mix things up again. NFL This Morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific, only on Fox Sports Net. Horned Frogs at the 22-yard line. And they will spread you out. Give it to Tomlinson. Tomlinson tries to cut it back. Gets to about the 26. That's a good indication of how this offensive line plays, Mike, because first contact was 4 yards upfield.
Yeah, you know what Navy's doing? It's interesting is they're moving LaFleur from free safety to corner against certain sets, and they're trying to make sure he gets more involved in the run game.
2nd down and 6.
See, here comes LaFleur right there. He's moving all over the field. Now he's back to free safety.
Let's see how the Horned Frogs handle this. They give straight ahead this time, and Tomlinson will have a 1st down. David Alexander makes the stop, but the quick hitter, 2 quick hitters, and they pick up 11 yards.
LaFleur, 200 pounds, right in the middle of the field, number 26. He's got responsibilities inside out all over the football field. He's not truly free in the sense he can go anywhere over the field, but he's got responsibilities on LaDainian Tomlinson from the inside out all afternoon.
Now they spread you out. 3 wide outs, a slot left. And the option again, and the pitch to Tomlinson. Tomlinson Tries to set the block of James and couldn't quite do it. Shaka Martin with a nice play defensively for the Mids.
And what Navy's defense is all predicated on today is to keep number 26 loose. Here he is, folks, right in the middle of the screen. Option goes the other way. Good job up front. Shaka Martin pushes him back, and look who's ready for him. Number 26 right there. That's about his 4th tackle already today.
They go out of the I formation this time in a slot right. And they give it to Tomlinson again. And this time Tomlinson doesn't get a lot. About 2 to the 38-yard line. Jake Bowen on the stop. And the Frogs running between the tackles.
You know what? And they're interesting. And that's why I like this team is they can get to the edge. And you've talked about how quick they are. But if you take away the pitch man, if you take away the option game, last week, for instance, against Arkansas State, they only ran 5 options all day. They went to their power game.
3rd down and 5. They go with 2 tight ends. And they run the option once again, and the pitch to Tomlinson. He's got room. 40-45 to the 49-yard line. A first down. David Alexander runs him out. Just a very efficient machine.
Boy, they've got an awful lot of weapons here. Watch the wide out from the left side. He comes in motion. Watch him crack. That's what allows Tomlinson to get to the edge because Contain's been blocked. Tomlinson gets to the edge, and it's another first down. And good job by the wide receiver.
And a mismatch with Tomlinson at 5'11", 220, playing head up on Alexander, 5'9", 165.
Exactly, and that was a good job by Dunbar. He makes the crack on the inside backer, allows him the edge.
Andrew Hayes-Stoker in the ballgame now for Tomlinson. And he can scoop too. Printers off the play fake to throw, looking for it all, and can't quite get it to Kevin Brown, the intended receiver. Well defended that time. Mike McGee putting some pressure on Printers.
A good job in coverage because Navy's forced to be so aggressive with their safeties. They're really giving up the middle of the field deep. And that was an excellent job on the post route, no help inside.
I think you make a good point. They are trying to test the corners early here.
And if you watch tape at Navy, you should. But that time they held up. Good job by Takasaki.
2nd down 10, just short of midfield. Maiden comes in motion. Printers rolls away, throws underneath the tight end. Ernst, first down in Navy territory at the 35-yard line. Ellis, I beg your pardon.
Really like their play action game. They get Navy reacting one way, slow block by the tight end Ellis coming back the other way. Watch what happens to tight end right here. A little slow block inside, then he releases back to the outside. There's nobody there. Great job by Printers. Oh, yeah, that's like stealing, folks.
I'm not sure they run the same play twice today. First down at the 35-yard line. And they give the fullback Lane, and Lane taking people with him down to the 30-yard line. Gain of 5. Good first down yardage.
These 2 drives really highlight what I like about TCU's offense, and that is you can't just hang your hat on one thing. If you want to stop option, that's fine. Then they'll come power game with Lane inside. Dennis Franchone is their offensive coordinator. I love that about him. He controls the game. Play action. How do you stop that when you have 9 people committed to run?
2nd down and 5. This is the 9th play of the drive. Moving Dunbar in motion. They run to that side. The pitch to Tomlinson, 30. And a nice tackle that time in space by Chris Lepore. Lepore's doing his job.
They are aggressive defensively. Watch the fullback out in front. If you can see to the left side of your screen, there's the block on the corner. Now watch Lepore. Bang! 200 pounds, runs 4.55 40. He was a preseason first team All-American in several publications.
He's showing why today, too. He's doing his part. Meantime, 3rd down and 3.
Love to see play action here because you know they're committing to run.
And Printers on the option and the pitch. And Tomlinson draws a crowd and he'll be stopped for a loss. So again, Navy making the big play when they really need to.
We keep talking about Lepore. However, that time Shaka Martin, number 52, is also having an excellent defensive day so far for Naval, the Naval Academy.
Well, those are their two big players defensively. And the big players are playing big. 4th down and 3, and Kalaki will come on to try what is a 45-yard field goal. Made it good from 33 just a few moments ago, but again, Navy's got to be very satisfied if they get out of here with just a 6-0 deficit. Kalaki hits this one. It's got to hurry, and it's not going to get there. Falls short. So that's even better for Navy.
Yeah, that's what you call a moral victory.
And with that, we'll take a timeout. So Navy bending but not breaking. 3:50 left first quarter. 3-0 TCU.
You've always trusted us with your letters, your bills, your packages. Now, we're bringing the security and confidence of the real world into the virtual one. Introducing the U.S. Postal Service's e-bill pay. Enroll now to receive, pay, and send your bills online with the service you already know and trust.
TCU comes up empty after maintaining possession for 10 plays. And Navy will have it again. Navy 3 and out in its first possession. Broadwater, the quarterback, with Lambert, the setback. Fricks and Jamal on the wings. And Broadwater checking off here, it seems. This time Broadwater on the keep, and he is cracked. Big-time tackle in the open field by Curtis Fuller. We've been talking about Lepore. Well, Fuller is his equal.
And you know what? That's a classic example. It's exactly right, Barry. Both free safeties today have run responsibility from the inside out. And here comes option. Navy's bread and butter. Curtis Fuller is an excellent free safety. Watch him flash right here. Bang. Good hit, and that's his responsibility. He has to trust his corners that they're going to take away any kind of pass, and he's got to commit to the run.
Gain of 4 on first down, makes it 2nd and 6. And this time it's Lambert, and he has stood straight up. Might have lost a yard. Chad Bayer, first man to it. Got a lot of help from his friends.
If you're on the Navy sidelines right now, Barry, you got to be pretty happy. They've had 20 snaps already, they being TCU. Navy's had 5 offensive snaps. To Charlie Weatherby, you're pretty happy. The score's only 3-0, and you're almost out of the first quarter.
And as we said, he's a guy who brings a pocket full of gadget plays.
Yeah, he will not hesitate, but he wants to be in the right place on the field before he does it.
3rd down and 7.
Checking off again.
And now he wants a timeout.
Didn't like it.
So Broadwater will ask for a timeout, trailing 3-0 with 2:27 remaining in the first quarter. Navy looking at a 3rd down and 7. Well, a reminder that later today on Fox Sports Net College Football Saturday, we've got the rest of our quadruple header. Next, Memphis taking on number 21 Southern Miss. Then Missouri hits it on against number 1 Nebraska. That's followed by ASU visiting number 15 UCLA. You can make it a full day of college football right here.
Big play here. 3rd and almost 8. Tough play in the wishbone offense. Excuse me, the option offense.
I really want to try to move the chains. That's Navy's objective here. Here's a pitch this time to Bach, and Bach will have the first down across the 40 to the 41. Boschobel runs him down, but not before Bach picks up about 9.
They go option to the wide side of the field. You're going to see a collision right out here, folks, with the lead back right here. Watch what happens. In space, 35-yard line. There it is. He stays right on him, allows the first down. That's an excellent job by the wingback.
So first down across the 40-yard line. Navy's first down. You can see TCU has right now 9 guys up on the line of scrimmage. Give this time to Lambright. Lambert, and Lambert will be stopped short of the 45-yard line. He got about 2. Chad Bayer on the stop for the Frogs. Maybe changing personnel with great regularity on just about every snap.
Yeah, they will rotate slot backs and wide receivers just about every snap. They keep people fresh because remember, both those positions are glorified guards. They're just going to gobble your kneecaps all day.
Yeah, they're not big, but they are tenacious. This is Broadwater on the keep, and Broadwater will get it to the 48-yard line. He got about 3 more, and it's going to be a 3rd down. Call it 3. It's actually a little bit less than 3.
Interesting how they block that play with the slot back coming right from here. It's just a little post block inside in the slot. Check him out. Quarterback comes right in behind his slot back. He gets 2 blocks on the play. That's number 39, Donnie Fritz.
Maybe a little tardy in hustling the play in here.
Yep, you're right, Bear.
So Navy forced to call its 2nd time out of this drive with 38 ticks remaining here in the 1st quarter. And Navy will talk it over rather than take the 5 yards. Team can't afford 5-yard delay game penalties.
No, they really can't. And you hate to burn the timeout, but in this situation, we have 3rd and a long 2. You can't afford any kind of mix-up, number 1, and you can't afford 3rd and 7.
Let's talk game plan here while we have a moment, Mike.
I really think there's probably 3 keys for Navy to win this football game. Number 1, I said, you got to hog the clock. Don't worry about being a pig. Keep the ball on the ground. Keep the clock running. If LT's on the sideline, he can't hurt you. Number 2, on defense, you've got to eliminate the big plays. Navy's defense has been susceptible to big plays all season long. And lastly, I really think Charlie Weatherby's going to plan some kind of surprise on special teams.
I don't think there's any question about that. In fact, he told us basically that he was going to do that. And he gets a twinkle in his eye when he says we had a few things.
He calls it a wrinkle, and I like
right.
that. He's going to hint at you a little bit. He's got a couple of wrinkles.
Well, so far, Navy playing TCU very much as they played Georgia Tech. They were in that game for a long time before just getting beaten up in the 2nd half.
Yeah, 4th quarter they got beat up, but they stayed in it the first 3.
3rd down, a long 2. And Broadwater is stopped. Picked the handoff to Lambert, kept it, was stacked up for a loss. Shannon Brazil, the middle backer, the first man to it.
They did that same play where it's a predetermined quarterback keep with the wing back blocking down like a trap man, and Brazil beat the trap. It was a great play. Watch number 41 flash. Right there, folks. Great hit behind the line of scrimmage. Short yardage defense, penetration's the key, and Shannon Brazil did a great job.
So Navy, once again, will have to punt it away. They did chew up a little clock, however, and Goss will call for a fair catch and make the fair catch at the 12-yard line. And that will be the end of the 1st quarter. And for all intent, not a bad quarter for Navy. They gave up a lot, but not on the scoreboard. And after all, that's the only important statistic. 3-0 as Charlie Weatherby is concerned. I'm sure Mikey's saying thank you very much.
Yeah, how about bend but don't break? They gave up a lot of yards in the 1st quarter, but only 3 points. No big plays. The key.
And so far, for LaDainian Tomlinson, 11 carries, 54 yards. He's done the job, but he hasn't broken a big one yet.
And this is where TCU has to be patient. Look at the numbers. They're overwhelmingly in TCU's favor, but the scoreboard is only 3-zip.
Printers this time on the draw to Tomlinson. Stopped for a loss. Mike McGee and Andy Zetz right there for the stop. Well, later today on Fox Sports Net, College Football Saturday, got the rest of our quadruple header. Next, it'll be Memphis State taking on number 21 Southern Miss, and then Missouri against number 1 Nebraska. That's followed by ASU and number 15 UCLA. You can make it a full day of college football right here on Fox Sports Net. Here's a give to Tomlinson on 2nd down, and Tomlinson gets ahead to the 20-yard line. He picked up 6 more.
This is exactly what Navy wants. Lepore again with the tackle in the hole. He picked up 5 or 6 yards, but now it's a 3rd down situation, and Navy's got a chance to make a play. Tomlinson Jackson already with 60 yards, 22 of them after the initial hit. You know, we saw him yesterday, what, 5'11". We're all questioning if he's really 220 pounds, but he's strong.
Strong upper body and very strong thighs. This time Printers on the boot, throws caught by Dunbar, and Dunbar will have a first down and more to the 33 down in the arms of Marcus Jackson.
Yeah, Marcus Jackson really got turned around. He was in man-to-man coverage, and as soon as they exploded off the line of scrimmage, Jackson, number 17, went deep. Just a good job, wide receiver. Dunbar just breaks the route off, and that's a first down.
So the ball right at the 33-yard line. Single setback, 2 wideouts, 2 tight ends. Tomlinson again between the tackles, and he gets about 3. Shot by Shaka Martin, and Martin's been all around the ball today.
This Navy front 7, I'll call, even though the safeties are very involved, this Navy front 7 has really held up well against the TCU offensive line. Shaka Martin's had a great ball game so far, and Mike McGee, the inside linebacker, also. I'm really impressed the way the defensive line is at least gaining a tie at the line of scrimmage and allowing the linebackers and secondary to make plays.
And this is an experienced and big offensive line at TCU. 2 tight ends again. They go out of the power I. And Printers will throw. And now he's in trouble and fumbles the football. Ball loose back at the 25 and fallen on by Michael Keithley. Big loss on the play, however. And it'll be 3rd and 1,000,000.
They gave Ben Matthews, the true freshman, time to get to him. It was a play-action pass. They only had 1 receiver in the pattern. Look at this, play action. Now the hesitation, what do I have? Great job by Ben Matthews, the true freshman. He strips the football. 52, Mike Keithley, the offensive tackle, picks it up. But there was nobody home. There was only 1 receiver on the route. That's the element of surprise with an option attack. Give Navy secondary credit once again.
3rd down and 19, and Chris Lepore is leading cheers here.
Yeah, he's excited. This is the kind of team that will rise to a challenge.
They bring James in motion, give on a draw to Tomlinson, and Tomlinson gets it back to the 29, well short of the first down. Hamilton and Wagner on the stop for Navy, and Navy ostensibly should get the ball in pretty good field position.
And they're fired up on the sideline. And remember when we talked to Weatherby yesterday, the thing I liked about what he had to say is the reason kids come to this Naval Academy, aside from the academic opportunities, the reason they come here is they want to play against the best. They want to play Notre Dame. They want to play TCU. He said, my kids will react to this challenge.
Biasotti to punt. He'll be punting to Hubbard. Hubbard's a guy who never met a punt return he didn't like. This guy does not fair catch.
And Biasotti has had 11 punts this year. None of them returned.
And they kick it away from Hubbard, who runs over, takes it at the 28. Well, he's had one returned now. Not for very much, mind you. So Navy starts at their own 31-yard line. They haven't crossed midfield yet. 11:01 remaining first half, but it's only 3-0 TCU. We're going to be back to the Naval Academy. We're in Annapolis, Maryland. What a beautiful city. That's how you got down here, isn't it, Mike, on that boat? Right down the Schuylkill River. And
no, they don't pay me your money. I had to get the rental car and head down 95.
They make you go coach? First down Navy at the 31-yard line. That time Navy had 2 people in motion. And they'll blow this one dead before the play gets going. That's another thing you don't like to see coming out of a timeout.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Yeah, and yards are precious enough as it is for Navy. They cannot afford penalties.
And the service academies do not get penalized very much, actually.
It's a governmental edict.
I think that's right.
IRS comes checking the referees and they throw that hanky
So now it's first and 15.
It's a rundown for them. Up, they got it back.
They got a freebie, right?
Sean Worthen.
Now Worthen at 304 pounds, that's a load to stop once you get it going forward.
It's that inertia thing.
That's right.
Snowball rolling down a hill, you can't stop it.
Offsides on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Well, one thing that Navy is managing to do, and that's keep the crowd in this game.
I think it was critical, and Charlie Weatherby used the term fragile when he was talking about the psyche of his players, and I think it's critical that they come out and compete and keep the crowd in, and they've done that.
Broadwater checking off here. And this time the pitch option, and on the option, that is Bach, and Bach will get about 6.
Boy, another good block on the edge by Donnie Fricks. Makes a guy miss. And Bach's the guy they really like on the pitch. They feel he's their most talented pitchman. Makes the catch. Cuts inside the attempted tackle of Curtis Fuller. And now we've got 2nd and 4, and the TCU sidelines a little concerned right now.
Yeah, with good reason. Navy has not thrown the ball yet today. See what they do on 2nd and 4. And kind of a botched play that time. Broadwater just has to keep it. Doesn't get anything. LaMarcus McDonald was the first man to it.
I think their center, Chad Adams, was looking for an infraction on that. I think one of the defensive tackles he thought jumped, and he automatically snapped it, which caught Broadwater a little bit by surprise.
Navy on 3rd downs, 1 of 3. They'll be looking at a 3rd down and 4 now. Broadwater on the quarterback draw, and he'll be close, but I don't think he's going to get there.
And the left guard, Brian Schultz, did a nice job on the linebacker, Brazil, who was blitzing on the play.
That'll be 4th down, a little less than a yard, and Navy apparently will go here.
Well, the midshipmen in the stands certainly are cheering for it. I don't think Charlie's going. On the sideline, some of the players are disappointed. But early in the game against a team that's better than you are, I think you got to punt the ball here. I really do.
I agree. I don't think you give him the ball at the 40-yard line.
Now, they might try and drag him off sides here.
It's a high twisting kick. Goss, fair catch at the 19-yard line. An effective punt. So TCU will start at their own 19-yard line. And with that, we'll jump away. 8:26 remaining first half, and it continues remaining here in the first half. And once again, Mike, TCU has to start deep in its own territory. Navy winning the field position game.
Yeah, and it's huge. Make them play on the long field, and that's what we talked about at the front of the show. No big plays. Force them. Try and make them be impatient and make mistakes, and so far that's what's happened.
All 4 drives starting inside their own 25-yard line. This one at the 19. Out of the I formation, they give it to the fullback, Lane. Lane busted to the 30, 35, to the 39-yard line. David Alexander makes what might have been a saving tackle as they just went straight ahead to the fullback.
There's such a concentration on the tailback, stopping number 5, that every once in a while you throw Lane the bone and give him the ball. Wide open, broken arm tackle from a linebacker, and Alexander had to bring him down.
Gain of 20, puts the ball at the 39-yard line. This time they go slot right.
They just moved Lepore here.
Give it to Tomlinson. Tomlinson, nothing doing. Slowed by the first man and got by Wimsatt.
Up front, watch number 94 up here. He'll break through late. Good job right there. There's Wimsatt, number 94. Excellent job.
And it was Shaka Martin who turned him into Wimsatt. 2nd down, 9. This time Printers on the boot, floats it out here, got a man, James has it, and out of bounds. Perfect ball thrown by Printers. James just ran under it, caught it at the 33-yard line of the Navy. That was a nice pass.
It's a great touch pass, but it's exactly what they have to do. Just a little play action, challenge Navy's corner. This time, Marcus Jackson about 2 yards of separation. Printers put it right where it had to be. And there's the first big play in the pass game for TCU.
They have it at the 33-yard line, and Printers, 6 of 7, 91 yards. Take what's given. They go out of the I formation again. This is their power formation. And they pitch short side to Tomlinson. Tomlinson cuts back to the 31-yard line. Only a couple. Eric Severson, first man to him for the Navy.
Good job on the edge again by Navy. They just won't let this outside attack get outside. They're forcing everything back inside, and that time the defensive end, Eric Severson, made the play.
So it'll be second down. And about 8. Printers this time. Give it to Tomlinson straight ahead. Tomlinson getting there in a hurry. Will be close to a first down. I believe about a yard short. Tomlinson zeroing in on the all-time TCU rushing record.
Here comes power football right here. Good surge by the offensive line. Look at the cut in the hole. For a guy with 220 pounds, I love his feet. Great feet in the hole.
And always going forward.
Yeah. Hard guy to categorize.
Third down and first and 1. And they give it to Tomlinson again, and I don't know. He might not have gotten there.
Wow, nose guard Josh Brindell really held up well that time.
This will depend on the spot, and it's going to be extremely close, I believe. Really a whooping going on down there, too.
Yeah, I think Dennis Franchione thinks it's time to play the power game. They've taken away option a little bit. He's saying, okay, one back. Our linemen are better than your linemen. But so far, the Navy kids are really holding up.
Going to get a measurement here. This is very close.
Yeah, I'll tell you, from the far side, I think they're about 6 inches short.
All right, we'll see. I see you're wearing your glasses, too.
You know what happened. I wasn't at the 1938 game like you were with Sammy Baugh, but I'm getting older.
First down. Getting older and blinded.
Charlie Weatherby shaking his head. So far, he's proud of his kids as they're competing. He's working those refs. He's saying, hey, I know you're from the WAC, fellas, but TCU's leaving next year for Conference USA. Give me a break.
That's what he told us he was going to do. He's going to lobby the refs because these are WAC referees. And, of course, TCU in its last year in the WAC before they move on to Conference USA. Power eye once again. And play fake. Printers throws. Just unloaded in time. Ball is caught by Matt Schobel, and he's going to have a first down at the 11-yard line. So all 3 Schobels have gotten into the act. Navy got a pretty good push on Printers with Printers unloaded right at the right moment.
Yeah, a little play action pass. He got rid of the ball just in time. Watch the block out in the flat right there. Here comes good hit right there. That was Dunbar on Lepore.
And a first down just outside the 10-yard line. So TCU could still make a first down without scoring a touchdown. Navy trying to hustle somebody off the field, and that'll draw a flag. Now, you used to be able to do that. You can't do that anymore.
You cannot.
Let's see if Navy called a timeout before he left. Now, this is going to be the only question.
There's a flag lying in the end zone, though. They're going to have to talk about it.
Timeout was granted. There is no flag.
Well, good job by Navy to recognize that and call that timeout. Saved them 5 yards. So we'll jump away with 5:29 remaining. 3-0 ball game. When we return, we'll send you back to Kevin Frazier at our College Football Saturday studio with a preview of our new. Printer's going to throw. Does. Caught this time by Schobel. Touchdown Frogs. And they're doing it through the air.
The same play effective earlier in the game. Play action to the front side, and the tight end slow block on the weak side. You'll see him right here. A little slow block and release. Wide open in the flat. All you got to do is dump it off. Navy reacted to the run fake. It's all over.
Casey Printers now 8 of 9, 112 yards and a touchdown. That's pretty impressive. And now it is a 9-0 game. Kalaki will try to make it a 10-0 game. Try for point is up and good by Kalaki. 4:46 left first half, and TCU has stretched it out to a 10-point lead. 10-0 Frogs. Mess with Casey Printers.
Yeah, look at the play action. You've got to respect the fake front side, the tight end slow block. That's Schobel, the brother of Aaron Schobel, their defensive end. I just don't know how you cover that whole package. You've got to commit aggressively to the run game.
Here's the scoring drive. 9 plays, 81 yards. Took just over 3.5 minutes. Printers, as you see, with some impressive numbers. For Tomlinson, 20 first half carries thus far, 81 yards. And they've been tough yards.
So he needs 5 more yards to break the all-time career record held by Tony Jeffries.
So Jamal and Gaddy will be the deep men to return this kick of Kalaki. Hits this high and fairly short. And that's going to be Jamal at the 9-yard line. And he is wrecked. And he also got a face mask. So Navy is going to be benefit of, I believe that'll be a 15-yarder. Dunbar was the guy who made the tackle.
Yeah, I think you're going to be right. Anytime you see the neck get wrenched, you know it's 15. It's not just holding on to it, but grabbing it and wrenching it. As you said, a short kick, fielded on about the 8-yard line. Very aggressive special teams, and that was number 2 for TCU, Kenneth Hilliard, reserve cornerback. Get a new quarterback?
I believe Malinowski in the ball game now. Malinowski played for Broadwater when he was out with that injury last week, and we expected to see him. It's not a surprise. He may be a little bit better thrower than Broadwater. We'll see. First down. On first down, Malinowski on the keep, and he's stopped by Curtis Fuller after a gain of about a yard.
Curtis Fuller doing a nice job flowing weak side on that option game. Malinowski, as you said, started last week against BC. Coach's son, smart kid, and what I call sneaky fast. Saw him run away from a couple BC kids that surprised me last week.
So it'll be second down. They gave him almost 2. We'll call it 2nd and 8. Malinowski this time will throw. And he airs it out. Got a man intercepted. A brilliant interception by Goss. What a pick. And we got a flag down back at the 29-yard line. It's going to be roughing the passer, and this one's going to come back.
Wow.
Big break.
And that, if he just put a little more air under that, that's a touchdown. Because they snuck their halfback, Josh Bach, into the tight end position and released him.
Well, there was a whole bunch of wouldas and couldas and shouldas on that play.
A little more air under it, it's a touchdown. Great call
Roughing
by
the passer
Weatherby.
on the defense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Those are the things that make Dennis Franchione crazy, as they have now given 30 yards here.
And what happened is they took Bach. Bad job up top there by Winchester on Schobel.
And Schobel, the guy who was guilty of that foul on the quarterback.
Yeah, just a late hit there.
Dennis, a guy who's no nonsense and really doesn't want to see any of that, especially out of a senior-laden team.
Those are coach killers right there.
Took away a pick, an excellent field position, a real opportunity for TCU to score again, as it is. Army now going to be in TCU territory for one of the few times in this ball game. In fact, the first time. That's even fewer than few.
Courtesy of a penalty.
At the 46-yard line. Malinowski to throw again. Steps up, fires, going long, and that should be interference, I would think. I'm telling you, we'll have a chance to see this on replay, but Goss just gave Dominique Bailey a push in the back right as that ball was delivered. I don't know if we're going to be able to see it, but I hope we can.
Yeah, two things here. Look up at the top of your screen. Right there. There's the push-off. That's got to be interference. And the second thing is, if I'm the coach at Navy, I'm telling Dominique Bailey, you got to lay out for that and try and get it with two hands instead of one.
Well, that's two near misses for Navy in this drive.
Malinowski put that one right there, though.
Yeah, that's a catchable ball. Here's the option again, and the pitch this time, but nothing doing as Bach is turned back by Jason Goss. Goss having a big game here.
He's been involved the last 3 or 4 plays, had the interception taken away from him. There were just too many people at the line of scrimmage that time for Navy to block. They had 9 people up top.
And now it'll be 3rd and 10, and these are very tough situations for Navy. Clock is not a factor, 3:20.
The good news for Navy is with Malinowski in the ball game, they've thrown the ball a couple times. TCU's got to back off a little bit.
Third down. And they give straight ahead on the dive, and absolutely nothing there. Aaron Schobel turned that one in, and Lambert was not able to pick up anything. Now it'll be 4th down, and Navy's going to have to give it up.
Yeah, they ran right into a strong safety blitz, too. They ran the option the wrong way. Russell Gary, number 33 for TCU, was coming on the blitz. There was nowhere to go, and Brazil just cleaned up inside.
So again, Navy has to punt it away. Brian Williams will be kicking to Goss and just try to bury TCU deep enough where they can't do any further damage. And it's a fake. And now he just throws it up there. That's a terrific idea. And it is batted away by TCU, and that's a pretty heads-up play because that'll be an incomplete pass.
Yeah.
And it's going to come all the way back out. That's a heads-up play by the TCU man, Goss. But now there's a flag. Let's see what this is all about. I think it's a legal play.
It's absolutely just a forward pass. The problem is, are any of the linemen downfield illegally?
The flag.
You throw the ball, it's a forward pass. That's a hold.
It's a hold against TCU. Oh my gosh. And
that's an automatic first down.
Yeah, talk about self-destructing here.
Interesting play now. Brian Williams doesn't even try, and he fakes it, throws it up in the air. Now, if you're TCU, if you're the return man, Goss, get rid of the foot. That's really smart by Goss.
Very smart.
Because what they're trying to do is entice you into catching the football for an interception and making the play inside the 20-yard line. They're taking a little bit of the uncertainty of the kick ball out of it, so they throw it right to you on the 10-yard line. I give Jason Goss a lot of credit for knowing the rules.
Absolutely. And he's only a sophomore. This is a senior-laden team. Goss is just a sophomore. Heads-up play, despite the penalty. So Navy keeps possession, has it at the 36. And the Middies have dodged a couple of bullets here. And they may have a freebie right here. And Lambert gets it down to the 30-yard line. Now it'll be interesting. They could have a 1st and 5. John Turrentine was the man who jumped offside for TCU. Or they could have a 2nd and 4.
Yeah, and if you're Dennis Franchione right now, you are really frustrated because you've just extended their drive twice. You intercepted the ball, but the late hit, the roughing the quarterback penalty, extended the drive. Now you had them punting, and you get the defensive hold. I mean, it doesn't get a whole lot more frustrating for a head coach than that.
Plus, it started with a face mask.
Exactly.
Offside.
This whole drive's been
on the
penalty.
defense. The penalty is accepted. 5-yard penalty.
Take a look at that. 5 of the penalties in the game, 4 of them have been on this drive.
And now Navy looking at a 1st and 5 at the 31-yard line. This is a very good operating situation for them.
Hey, Barry, there's 2 minutes and 10 seconds left in the half. If they can push one across, we got a ball game here.
Changes everything.
Absolutely.
Gives them all the momentum going into the locker room. And they give it on the keep this time. No, Lambert has it and gets to the 29-yard line. Gained about 2, and the clock now down to 1:47. Remember, Navy has no more timeouts.
Yeah, they burnt all 3 early. Could come back to haunt them a little bit here.
Just a reminder, coming up at halftime on the Nissan Halftime Report, Kevin, Kellen, and Artie back in the studio. Tell you about everything that's happening and will happen in college sports today. Wisconsin and Michigan, excellent game. I look for Wisconsin to rebound a little bit in that game. And a lot of surprises around the league. Here's Lambert with a 1st down. Short of the 20-yard line. Charlie Owens makes the stop, and now the clock will stop while the chains are moved. The Navy will hustle to the line of scrimmage.
Excellent job by Donnie Fricks, the wingback. Look for number 39. Good down block. Excellent job by 39 Fricks. And their best running back is Raheem Lambert, the fullback. And in this offense, you've got to get him involved.
And here's Lambert again. Now they're going to really have to hustle. There's 1:07 left. He picks up about 4. Russell Gary makes the stop, but now they got to hurry.
Comes the play in from the wide receiver. We've got to call it now. Look, they're switching sides.
Using up
burning a lot of time.
A lot of time. Inside of 50 seconds now. He's going to run the ball, and now he's got to get up. And if TCU were smart, they'd lay on him a little bit. Clock ticking down to 35. Navy not putting the ball up, and now it's a 3rd down. They got to think 1st down also.
Yeah, they've got real issues here. 3rd down and 3. You got to make a real play here. You can't throw it into the turf.
That's exactly right. Very bad clock management here by Navy. And they jump. And that's against Navy.
Yep. Left side of the line.
Ron Winchester jumped. Now there's only 21 seconds left. Now they may put a couple back here.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
The only good news is it stopped the clock at 21 seconds. They've got to get regrouped, get in the huddle, and get out on top of the ball very quickly.
Well, again, the red zone has been a major problem for Navy this year. They haven't been there that much to begin with.
I was just going to say, by definition, you have to get there first for it to be a problem. They've only been there 3 times in the prior 3 games. They converted 1 touchdown and 1 field goal.
So the clock starts again, and now Malinowski got to worry about the 1st down. Throw to the end zone, incomplete. Overthrowing the intended receiver, Dominique Bailey. Charlie Owens defending for TCU. And that'll bring on the kicking team, but I think you might have to question the clock management of the Navy here.
Yeah, let's face it, they're not exactly well known for a 2-minute drill, although they did a great job against Georgia Tech late in the 1st half.
David Hills will try to put Navy on the board as he will hit this at the 26. It'll be a 36-yard effort. He has about a 45-yard range. Gets it down, gets it up, and it's no good. Off to the right. So Navy comes up empty again in the red zone after just eking themselves inside the red zone to begin with, but that's a possession I think the Navy would like to forget about, and so too with TCU.
Yeah, TCU gave them the opportunity, and unfortunately for Navy, they didn't take advantage of it.
So there'll be 8 seconds remaining, and I suspect TCU will not try to do anything too fancy. Well, tomorrow on America's favorite pregame show, he's hard-working, hard-hitting, and he's right on target. All you have to do is ask him. Jimmy Kimmel, whose addition to the Fox NFL Sunday was called the best move of the year by USA Today. Our sarcastic sage giving you his picks and gets his licks in on Terry, Howie, Chris, and even JB. It's part of the most entertaining hour of full football information that gets you ready for a full day of action. The Fox NFL Sunday pregame show tomorrow at noon Eastern. And with that, the 1st half will come to an end. And a 1st half the Navy can be justly proud of, holding a very high-scoring TCU team, averaging over 40 points a game to just 10. But the bottom line is, of course, they trail by 10. 30 minutes of football remaining. Navy unable to do any business offensively. TCU taking it in their last possession, and they lead it 10-0 at the half. Right here in Annapolis, Barry Tompkins along with Mike Mayock, 10-0 here at halftime. And I think really the hallmark of this 1st half, at least offensively for TCU, has not been what Tomlinson has not done. It has been what Printers has.
Yeah, he's been efficient in the pass game. 8 out of 9. This touchdown to Matt Schobel is really the only touchdown in the game. Play action to Tomlinson. You have to respect that. Wide open Schobel, and that's the only touchdown. 10-0 ball game.
And it's not that Tomlinson has disappeared. He's got 20 carries for 81 yards. That's a pretty good game for most running backs. The numbers lopsided for TCU. Navy only 2 first downs that weren't earned by penalty. And look at that 59.
Yeah, and take a look at the other one right above it. Passing yards for Navy, none. They're only 0 for 2. Navy's got to be able to throw the ball just enough to make TCU's defense respect the run.
Navy will get the ball first in the 2nd half. Lepore is the deep man now for Navy, and he gets it at the 3-yard line. Comes back to the 10, gets the 20, a little gap, and then he's down at the 21-yard line by Kenneth Hilliard. Navy just unable to generate anything offensively.
Yeah, if you're Navy, though, you're correct. Defensively, you've done a great job. Offensively, you've got to throw the ball off play action enough to keep them honest, and that's what they weren't able to do in the 1st half. see who the quarterback is.
It's Broadwater to start things here, even though Malinowski moved the ball reasonably well. And there's a penalty right out of the box for Navy. And again, that's very uncharacteristic.
A lot of pointing going on. Winchester, the left tackle for Navy, saying it wasn't me, it wasn't me.
I don't think it was. I think it was the wingback.
Weatherby's 8 yards on the field arguing.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense, 5-yard penalty, still first
I
down.
think you're right. I think it was the wingback stepping forward that drew them off sides.
So Navy in that 1st and 15 situation, which is very difficult.
1st and 10 tough enough right now offensively for them, let alone 1st and 15. And this is critical because it's bad field position. You can't be 3 and out.
So Broadwater, the quarterback. And they give it to Lambert. Lambert got about 3 of it back. Charlie Weatherby told us yesterday, ideally 75% run, 25% pass.
Well, if you look at the first half statistics, they only threw the ball twice, completing none of them. So the ratio is too far in favor of the run to pass right now. They just need to mix it up a little bit.
Navy going with a tight end here for the first time today. Mercer is in the ballgame.
Yeah, they often are sneaking their running backs up to the tight end position.
And it's Broadwater on the keep. Gets it maybe back to the original line of scrimmage. Not really that. Aaron Schobel makes the tackle.
Yeah, we highlighted Schobel at the top of the show. Because this is a run game, it takes away his specialty, which is rushing the quarterback. But he did a great job coming from the backside and tackling the quarterback on option for just a very small gain.
So now it's 3rd down and a little more than 10. They're only 1 of 6 in 3rd down so far today. And Broadwater with the pitch this time to the trailing back. And he's going to get the first down.
That's Marlon Terrell, I believe.
I believe that's right.
Watch the length of the pitch from Broadwater. Now watch what happens. There's the fake to the fullback Lambert. Watch how far he pitches this football. That's about 9 yards in the air. Great hands that time by Terrell. And it's a 4th down, folks. They marked them, I thought, a little bit short. And given this field position, they're going to have to punt it away.
Yeah, I didn't think he got a very generous spot at all. So, 3 and out. And Navy has to punt it again. And TCU started to come after it, then didn't. He drills this one. Goss will try it and is dropped immediately back at his own 14-yard line. Good coverage by Mike Weedle for the Navy. One of the smallest men on the field, makes a pretty big play right there. Just underway, second half. TCU will have it for the first time, leading 10-0 of its own 15-yard line. 54-yard punt by Williams and no return by Goss.
Just like the first half, we talked about field position. Here's TCU again, backed up on their own 15-yard line. Take a look at Tomlinson here, the running game. To the left side, 4 rushes. They've really gone power game, folks. You can see 4 left, 5 right. I think what Franchione's hanging his hat on is the power game in between the tackles, and that's where he's made his yards.
So TCU's first offensive snap. Tomlinson, incidentally, still within 5 yards of the all-time TCU rushing record. I think it's a fair bet that he's going to make it this year. Play fake, and Printers will go up on first down and throws. Caught this time by Dunbar for a first down. Short of the first down, actually, at about the 22-yard line. DeJuan Cromer defending, but that play has been there all day.
Yeah, and if I'm Dennis Franchione, once again, even though I feel like I'm bigger, stronger, tougher, and a bit more talented than this Navy defense, I think play action's there all day. And I think you got to throw the ball, get these guys backed up a little bit, and then Tomlinson will have a big 4th quarter.
Out of the I formation once again. And they give it to the fullback. That's Lane, and Lane has the first down and more to the 29-yard line, and Lane has been very effective in his 3 carries today. McGee and Cromer on the stop for the Navy.
Yeah, I like Lane. Only a junior, 6 feet, 253 pounds. We both talked about him as a blocker, but he's a very effective runner going north and south.
29-yard line, first down and 10.
So the chains move. Ball at the 29-yard line. Again, they go out of the I formation. And it's Lane again, and Lane got about 3 more to about the 33-yard line. Might have got 4. Josh Brindle, the nose guard, on the stop for Navy.
Once again, that defensive line, Brindle, Wagner holding up pretty good against this much bigger TCU front. You look at these Navy guys, you know, 250, 240, 270, Wimsatt, the captain. You look on the other side, they're all over 300.
Second down and 6. And Printers this time on a keep. He might have some room, and that was the guy needed to get by. A big-time play by Michael Wagner. If he got by Wagner, he had nothing but space.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Navy is making defensive plays. They really are. Once again, Printers is going to go front side, and now watch what happens. Great job keeping contained backside. Makes the reaction. Now look at the flow right there. Interior guy forced them out, and Michael Wagner made the play.
How much field did he have if he got around Wagner?
Had a lot of field left. Chris Lepore was the only guy with an angle on him.
As it is 3rd and 11. Or 3 of 6 in third down situations. And they give it to Tomlinson straight ahead, and Tomlinson is slowed up by Jake Bowen and then stopped by Chris Lepore. So TCU has to give it up, and Navy again defensively doing everything that can be asked.
And they've got Tomlinson a little frustrated. You could see when he got off the pile there, he was talking a little bit with the defensive players. I think he's a little bit frustrated.
That run by Tomlinson, incidentally, makes him the career leader, passing Tony Jeffrey for first place all time at TCU. Left-footed punt is away, a twisting kick. Hubbard runs over, fields it, and then dives forward to about the 34-yard line. So Navy, again, kind of winning the field position battle, but that, believe me, is only a moral victory. Well, tomorrow at America's favorite pregame show, he's hard-working, he's hard-hitting, and yeah, he's right on target. All you have to do is ask him. He's Jimmy Kimmel, whose edition of the Fox NFL Sunday was called the best move of the year by USA Today. Our sarcastic sage gives you his picks, gets his licks in on Terry, Howie, Chris, and even JB. It's part of the most entertaining hour of full football information that gets you ready for a full day of action. It's the Fox NFL Sunday pregame show, and it's tomorrow at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. So Navy on the offense again in the first place, stacked up as Lambert gets nothing and lost a couple. Sean Worthen just right in his face.
JT Augenbach, the right guard. Watch him get stood up right in the middle of the screen. You see 70? He got destroyed by the defensive interior there. Huge hit.
Lambert
Sean
comes out.
Worthen, Lambert, I'm sorry.
Sorry, I was just going to say Lambert comes out just a little nicked up. Here's Broadwater this time on a keep, and Broadwater now pitches back, a gutsy pitch, and that's going to be enough for the first down. Marlon Terrell.
You got to give it to Broadwater. 2 guys hitting him simultaneously. Watch the shot he takes. He gives the body up. Token fake, good cut block out front. Here comes the hit. Dishes it with his right hand across his body for the first down. That is an athletic play by Brian Broadwater.
But Terrell stepped out of bounds right as he got the pitch, and so it's going to be well short of the first down. They're basically calling it right where Bridgewater pitched the ball to him. That's a tough break for Navy. So now it's 3rd and long. And Bridgewater fell down. So things going from bad to worse offensively for the Naval Academy here.
Yeah, it looked like they had a big play there, the previous play, and it's too bad. I thought Broadwater tripped coming away from center on that.
So Williams will come on to punt it again, and again the Navy offense comes up empty. 3 and out.
They come.
High twisting kick. Goss at the 15 touched it. That's a live ball, I believe. Now they're going to say he did not touch it. Boy, it sure looked from up here as though he did.
I thought he did. He made the effort. You know, we talked about yesterday about how good a punter. Let's see what happens with the hands. He pulls the hands away.
Just got him out of there in time. So TCU will have it again deep in its own territory at the 15-yard line when we come back.
Scores and highlights are only half the story. Oh, my goodness! Now,
So Tomlinson, as we said earlier, now the all-time leading career rusher at TCU, having passed Tony Jeffrey on the last possession.
He looks a little winded now. That was the first play of the drive. I don't know what he did there, but they just substituted for him. He's got something going on.
Puts Hayes Stoker into the ballgame. Play fake, and Printers will throw. Got a man out here and throws underneath instead. Boy, he had Kevin Brown about 2 steps in front. Came back instead for the tight end, B.J. Roberts.
See, what a young quarterback does often is he doesn't, when he comes off the play fake, look at his deep guy first. That's the first coaching point on play action. Look at your deep guy first, and if you don't have him, you can always come short. That's twice today. Kevin Brown's been wide open deep. LT back in the game. He's obviously okay.
So 3rd down and a long 2 here.
How far off the corners are playing. It's like stealing.
Printers this time with the pitch to Tomlinson, and another great play. Did enough to slow him up. Now we're going to get a late flag. Marcus Jackson made just enough of a good play to slow Tomlinson. Tomlinson still was right around the 1st down mark, and we'll see about the flag, and I suspect it probably is a late hit.
Yeah, cornerback is told when a wide receiver does a crackback block, he's got to replace as the contain man. Personal foul, that's going to hurt. Marcus Jackson had a real chance to make a play. Motion comes, and you're going to see right here he's going to replace and have a chance right there, one-on-one tackle. Marcus Jackson almost makes the play. He's a yard out, and he got nudged. You have to call the flag, even though it wasn't much of a big hit. But Marcus Jackson had a chance to make a play. The wide receiver blocked down. He's got to replace, and if he makes the tackle, it's the end of the series.
As it is, a big penalty against them, and you might have seen Tomlinson blow a shoe in the process. So Hayes Stoker back in the ball game. Ball at the 37-yard line. Printers give the fullback again, and Lane powering forward to about the 43. He got about 6 more. Jeff Milliken clearing the way.
I think that's been, along with the play action slow release by the tight end, I think that's been their most effective play of the day.
Been very effective.
So conscious of the tailback. Lane's having a big day inside.
Yeah, he's rushed for 42 yards so
How many
far.
carries?
Just 4.
I'd call that efficient.
Make it 5. Tomlinson back in the ball game now. The single setback. 2 tight ends and 2 wideouts. Here's Tomlinson again. And they're doing a pretty good job on him, but he's still close to the 1st down here. He's one of those guys that falls forward all the time.
Plus, he made 2 moves in the hole there. Just great feet. And that's what I look at with a back. He really does a good job. There's not a whole lot. Let's take a look in the hole here. Watch him move. Move number 1, slide. Move number 2, over top of somebody, fall forward, 1st down. That's a great job. Lepore on the tackle, but a great job. LT making people miss in tight quarters.
LT being watched by no less than about a half a dozen NFL scouts today. I saw Ron Wolf, general manager of the Green Bay Packers, on hand here today. First down, TCU. Tomlinson again. Got a little gap this time. Got across midfield about the 48-yard line. Got almost 5 more. And that'll put him over the 100-yard mark.
And we talk about that big offensive line. 3 of the 5 guys bench over 500 pounds. Take a look at these 2 guys right there. That's Victor Payne and Mike Keithley. They just collapsed the whole side of the line. And a guy like Tomlinson's going to see that, cut back away from it. That's stealing, folks.
Well, they count knockdowns on their offensive line. They're very impressed with that kind of number. And they had 191 against Northwestern just a couple of weeks ago. And Northwestern turned out to be a good football team. They're leading Michigan State now, as Kevin and the guys told you, 23-10 in the 2nd quarter. and beat Wisconsin at Wisconsin last week. Play fake, Printers throws, got a man once again. It's James, and he'll get the first down with a nice second effort.
Printers pass completed to number 13, Cedric James.
And I really believe they have to do more of that. This is a good, efficient drive. They've used the tailback. They've used the fullback. Now they throw the ball a little bit. Navy's corners are trying to disguise, but they really end up about 8-9 yards deep. You've got to take what they give you.
Printers doing that to the extent of 10 of 12, 125 yards and a touchdown. They go with 2 tight ends and 2 wideouts. Tomlinson the lone setback. 3rd and short. Tomlinson again, and he takes people with him this time for a first down. You know, I think, Mike, it's those little 2-yard runs like that one that make the scouts sit up and notice Tomlinson.
You know, I agree with you, because anybody can watch a 70-yard run and say, boy, that was special. But I think what the scouts like is you got to watch his feet, his toughness, his ability to move forward, his ability even to push the pile when there isn't something there.
And you said earlier, too, this guy is not only an All-American football player, he's an All-American human being.
He was fun to talk to yesterday.
Just a terrific...
He talked about his offensive line and how much fun he had meeting Michael Vick last year. Really a neat kid.
Give it to Tomlinson again, and Tomlinson gets down about the 38-yard line. Picked up about 3 more. Brad Wimsatt on the stop. Wimsatt, the best defender on the Navy down line.
Yeah, this is a frustrating thing for this TCU offense. You know, Tomlinson's used to breaking one, and he hasn't. He had a chance early. He has not broken anything. They have only hit 1 deep pass at all. This is very frustrating for an offense. I give them credit. They're staying with their game plan. They're not getting out of context, and that's what you have to do with Navy.
Which is exactly, again, what Charlie Weatherby said. Don't give them any big plays. They haven't. And I think the right guard or right tackle moved that time for TCU. We'll get the call here.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense, 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
I think the unsung hero for Navy today has been their punter, Brian Williams, who also doubles as a wideout. He has punted better than Biasotti, who was the #1 punter in the country for TCU.
Yeah, he's one of only 3 athletes who are not only punters but play a position regularly also.
Right. This is a balanced set. 2 tight ends, 2 flankers. They can go either way.
2nd and long, short drop, pump fake. Printers looking for it all. Now he rolls away from pressure, and now he throws comebacker for Maiden, and unable to hang on is Maiden. Maiden did the right thing, though, coming back to his quarterback.
They sure did. Good coverage by Alexander, too. You know, they were trying to get deep on him, and Alexander took away the deep route, and then when it was broken back, he also covered the short route. Now, once again, they're trying to get up top. A little 3-step fake at front side, and he's looking for the deep route backside. Alexander takes it away from Maiden. Maiden smart, comes back to the football, but hey, David Alexander all over.
This time they go out of the shotgun for one of the few times today.
I'd still watch number 5 in the flats.
They use him in the patterns quite a lot. Nice pass that time, caught by Dunbar, and Dunbar will be close to a first down. I think he probably got it.
You know, just the threat of number 5 out there in the flat, the whole defense went with him and allowed Dunbar to come in underneath on a little curl route.
And I like the way Printers is throwing the football.
See, watch what happens here. A little curl route because everybody's going to watch number 5 into the flat. See the linebacker go with 5, Tomlinson, and bang, curl route's wide open underneath. There he is, Dunbar, a little 12-yard. If I was him, I'd try to get a little deeper, make sure he got the first down, but the second effort does it.
And Printers is just delivering the ball, and I realize Navy's defense is giving him a little pad, but Printers is delivering. Here he is this time on a busted play, trying to get outside. Not going to happen.
Shaka Martin chased him down, but I think that was a case of Casey going the wrong way there. I'm going to give the sophomore the blame instead of the senior All-American Tomlinson.
Well, Printers was an All-American last year, too. He's a freshman All-American,
Yep.
13. Only 2 other freshmen that people who vote on such things thought were any better. That guy at Virginia Tech, Michael Vick, not bad.
Boy, is he special. And he's the new prototype. That's what everybody wants. I like what Franchione said about Printers, though. What would like him to develop into is a Donovan McNabb clone.
Exactly.
That type of player, effective both throwing and running the ball.
He also told us this is really only the 13th game that Casey Printers has played. Here's Tomlinson trying to string it out, and again, a terrific defensive job by Navy.
And these kids are just laying it out there. I give this Navy defense a ton of credit. That time, DeJuan Cromer held up on the edge. They haven't let him get outside. Barry, you talked at the top about how quick this TCU team is, how they can get to the edge. Navy's forced them back to the middle of the field.
Yeah, they're doing an excellent job. There's one of the reasons why he's the defensive coordinator of
Timmy DeRuyter told us exactly what they were going to try and do, and let me tell you, his team has done the job.
He said, don't take any shots at me when they score touchdowns. Here's Tomlinson in the flat this time, and Tomlinson, trying to stay in bounds, is finally forced out, and they're going to mark this, I think, at the 20-yard line, but it's going to be a first down.
You know, Barry, same play the last time. Remember, they threw the curl, and they used number 5 as a decoy. Watch what happens. Curl, and now they're going to bring him out. And you want to get the ball in his hands any way you can. Exact same play. You get the ball in his hands and let him get up the sideline. That's a heck of a job by Dennis Franchione, realizing that he's got to find other ways to get number 5 the football.
And this is the 15th play of this drive, so a very effective drive. No big plays, just efficient. Play fake. Printers will throw. He's got a man, but he underthrows to Roberts, and Roberts gets it down to the 4-yard line. He had a man wide open in the end zone. It was Kevin Brown. Went underneath to Roberts instead, and he'll take that to the 4-yard line.
And Kevin Brown's been wide open deep 3 or 4 times, but give Printers credit. He missed the deep guy, but he had the presence to stay with his tight end Roberts. And let's face it, folks, the tight end's been the most efficient receiver today in the TCU offense. And that's what happens when you're a run team with play action against the zone defense. That tight end's going to be wide open.
That's right. 5 catches by the tight ends in this game. You're right. Here's a power I formation, and Tomlinson gets the call and gets the touchdown. Just like that. Knows where the end zone is, doesn't he?
You called it the other day, north and south. I really like this kid. And the fullback lane on the linebacker, what a great block. Watch the fullback, folks, right here in the hole. Block on the linebacker, wide open, and let me tell you something, one-on-one, there's not a defensive back in the country who's going to turn him backwards.
So it extends the TCU lead to 16, and Kalaki will try for the 17th point. A very impressive drive for TCU. But remember, it was prolonged by a late hit penalty against Navy. So that had a factor. Conversion is good with 3:04 remaining in the third quarter. TCU has stretched it to 17 over the Naval Academy.
Yes! There we go. You're mine. Yeah, you. Sweet. Looks good to me.
Tiger may never get into the Olympic Games, but at least he can get into an Olympic Edition Regal.
Looks like I got the gold.
Check out the Olympic Edition.
So my danger light officially went off for Navy now. 10-0 ball game. It's manageable. You're out. You can stay in there, hope for a big play, hope for a turnover. Now down 17-0 after that 16-play scoring drive. You've got a whole different issue if you're Navy. You got to manufacture ways to get in the end zone.
Stay the course, as it were. Gaddy and Jamal are the D-men for Navy, and Navy just needs to do some business offensively. It's just not happened for them. They honored the 1960 Navy football team here today. That was Joe Bellino's team, their first Heisman Trophy winner. Short kick, and this is going to be Jamal.
Oof.
And he got necktied again. And that one was legal. Short of the 20-yard line. Cody Slinkard on the tackle for TCU special teams.
A 15-yard return.
So trailing 17-0.
First down and 10.
Navy will try it again. Next week, you can start your college football Saturday with a pregame show presented by Rivals.com at 11:30 Eastern, 8:30 Pacific. And then it's a triple header. We begin at 3 Eastern, 12 noon Pacific with East Carolina visiting Memphis. And California takes on Arizona State. And that is followed by Oregon State against number 6 Washington. It's all right here on Fox Sports Net next week. Malinowski back at quarterback for Navy now. See if he can do some business. Lambert on first down. Falls forward to about the 24, maybe the 25-yard line. Charlie Owens on the stop. Give him 5.
It was interesting talking to Coach Weatherby about Raheem Lambert, the fullback. He said not only is he our best running back, he's a kid that was recruited by Stanford, Northwestern, Cal, Washington State, chose to come to the academy. 5'10", 207-pound junior. And he had 300-yard games to his credit.
Guy who grew up, spent his early years in Belize. That'll get you ready for the Navy. That's going to be a first down across the 30.
Kind of interesting. Down 17, he's saying, you know what, we're not getting out of what we do. What we do is we run the football, coming right at you.
So first down Navy at the 30-yard line. First downs have been few and far between for the Mids.
Dominique Bailey had to check with one of his buddies to find out the play as he ran in late.
Malinowski will put it up, airing it out deep and too deep, intended for Brian Williams. Charlie Owens defending, and Williams didn't have much chance.
Pass intended for Brian Williams.
So Navy still has not completed its first pass.
You know, that last drive was a huge drive in general, but the key play was a 3rd and 2 situation. Fake down the line. Here comes Tomlinson. They had a chance to make the play in the open field. He ran out of his shoes, but made the first down and then got hit for an extra 15 yards out of bounds.
And here's the pitch this time, and almost too late to Terrell. And Terrell gets it going in the right direction to about the 38-yard line. It's going to be just a couple yards short of the first down.
Terrell's done a nice job on a couple long pitches, handling the football.
Schobel was the guy who was right in Malinowski's grill. Malinowski did well, just unload the ball.
Yeah, it's interesting. A guy like Schobel comes in here with 6 sacks that leads the country, but since the type of game it's going to be, he's got to be a different kind of player today. He's got to hold up against the run and play option, and Malinowski did a good job on the long pitch.
So Navy now with a 3rd and 2, and they just have not been effective on 3rd downs, just 1 of 8.
Malinowski looking to the sideline. This is a key 3rd down situation for these guys. He thought he had the play. Now they're running in Brian Williams with a different one, and they got to get somebody to come out. Who's coming out, folks? All kinds of confusion.
All kinds. Malinowski now looking like he's checking off, and they finally get it going. And all of that was for all of that. All of nothing. Shannon Brazil stops Lambert in the backfield. A loss of a yard, and again, Navy's going to have to give it back to TCU.
These linebackers are just flying up at the snap on short yardage like that. Brazil and Bear, really too many people to block. Brazil's had a heck of a game, especially on 3rd and short. That's about the 3rd play he's made behind the line of scrimmage on 3rd and short.
So again, Williams will have to kick it away, and Goss stands at the 22-yard line. Short kick this time. This one hits the 35, takes a bit of a Navy bounce, and is down at the 32-yard line. So TCU will have it in pretty good field position with just 12 ticks left here in the 3rd quarter.
Their best field position I can remember just about the whole football game.
And in fact, it is the best that they've started. They lead 17, and I think it's been efficient, if not a spectacular performance for TCU.
Well, think about what we just said, though. Their best field position is 12 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. This is their best field position of the game, their own 32-yard line. That tells you how efficient Navy's been on defense and special teams.
Casey Printers really has been a difference maker on the offense. 13 of 16, 165 yards and a touchdown. He's going to put it up on 1st down. And he's going for it all, and he's got Dunbar there, definitely.
Gotta be.
Definitely. I'm going to call it a David Alexander.
And you know what, for Alexander, that's a shame because he was actually in position to try and make a play. He just didn't have the confidence. Take a look on the left side right here, folks. Okay, he's actually in position. If he doesn't make the contact, that doesn't happen. I think that was Matt Brooks.
That was Alexander. I beg your pardon.
Take a look at it again. Alexander had position. If he plays that ball a little bit differently, that doesn't happen. But remember, in college football, that's a 15-yard penalty. It doesn't go all the way out to where it was.
15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Alexander had pretty good position. But Dunbar has a right to try and get to the football.
So a first down at the 48-yard line. Penalties have really been costly for Navy. Give the fullback again. Here's Lynch getting outside of the 40. He's at the 30, running over people to the 25-yard line. Another big play by Lane, the fullback. Gain of 27. And George Lane has 69 yards on his 6 carries. We come to the end of the third quarter, 17-0. TCU leads Navy, 15 minutes of football remaining.
Yes! There we go. You're mine. Yeah, you. Sweet. Looks good to me.
Tiger may never get into the Olympic Games, but at least he can get into an Olympic edition Regal.
Looks like I got the gold.
Check out the Olympic...
The final period. And TCU on the move once again. And these two guys complement each other. We talked about chatting with them yesterday. Two terrific kids doing a job today.
Yeah, really impressed with him. You look at Tomlinson. You know, he's less than 4 yards a carry, but the guy that's really made a huge difference has been their fullback, George Lane. 6 carries. Take a look on this last play. A little trap block up front. George Lane breaks loose, makes a nice cut in the open field away from Marcus Jackson. He's got 6 carries for 69 yards. And I think it's safe to say that both the quarterback, Printers, and the fullback, George Lane, have been the major difference in this football game.
Yeah, one thing our spotter, Dick Quinlan, just pointed out, Chris Lepore is not in the ball game defensively for Navy now. He's standing on the sideline. Here's a give to Tomlinson, and Tomlinson gets about 2 to the 23-yard line. They've done a very good job on Tomlinson, despite the fact that he's got 112 yards in the ball game.
Well, that's his 30th carry. So he's gotten the carries, and the fact that a guy with that kind of talent hasn't broken a big one tells you how well Navy's defense is tackled today.
Talked to Dennis Franchione yesterday about the possibility of TCU perhaps looking by Navy. They were a 27-point favorite coming into this ball game, and said he asks his players, the seniors, during the week, how we doing? And the seniors were quick to say, "Don't worry, coach." Well, it's not a worry. They lead 17-0. Printers will throw. Throws again, and it's caught by Lane. Touchdown, Frogs.
Printers pass complete to Champ.
Well, there's 2 of the 3 guys we just talked about, Printers and Lane, hooking up for the biggest play of the football game. Watch the fullback, Lane, is going to run a little wheel route. You see him sneaking out right at the top of your screen, folks, and then he turns it up. That's called a wheel route. He gets a linebacker on him. Shaka Martin's not going to have any chance at staying with it once he turns it up the field.
Boy, what a big game George Lane has had. And Casey Printers. You can't say enough about Printers. I mean, he's 14 of 17 for 188 yards and a couple of scores. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I really believe Printers and Lane have had huge games today.
Try for point is up and good, and just like that, it is a 24-0 TCU lead. It's a long way back now for Navy. 14-12 remaining in the football game.
post-game show. Scores and highlights from across the nation, including the best quarterback in the ACC. And it's not who you think. That's coming up. For right now, let's get back to Annapolis and Barry. Guys?
All right, thanks a lot, Kevin. I think I know who you're talking about, and I think you're right. And I think he's doing a pretty good job again today, isn't he? Kevin will tell you all about that after the game here at Annapolis.
I mean, he's not talking about Chris Wanke?
I don't think so.
He had a pretty good game on Thursday
He's not
night.
bad. He's not bad. 24-0 ball game here, and it's been the fullback.
They've taken Tomlinson out of the game. It's been the fullback. George Lane, 6 carries, 69 yards. Look at him make people miss in the secondary. That was Marcus Jackson, the corner, getting caught inside. Then a little wheel route. 38 sneaks out of the backfield, gets isolated on the linebacker, Shaka Martin. Touchdown, 23 yards. And we came in here talking about how good Tomlinson is. But, Barry, you mentioned a word yesterday I liked, and that's balance. This offense is balanced. Yeah, Tomlinson is a Heisman Trophy candidate. But on a day where you can shut him down, well, you know what? You've got Lane, you've got Printers. They need another wide receiver to step up also. And then they've got a full package.
And, of course, an experienced offensive line. So that is the whole package offensively. And they're not bad on the defensive end either. Here's Lane again. He's got a bunch more. 9 more for Lane to the 41-yard line. He's going to want the ball more, Mike.
He's going to be tough to live with, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
And that offensive line doing an excellent job inside on the power game.
But again, that is the philosophy of Dennis Franchione and his staff, and that is you give the ball to who's going to do the best job. And if that happens to be your Heisman Trophy candidate, so be it. And if not, so be that.
It's about winning games. These guys have a chance to go 11-0 and cause people some problems in the national picture.
Here's Tomlinson. And again, he's one of those guys, though, that every time he touches the ball, he gives you that feeling he can go all the way, and he can.
Yeah, he certainly can, but how about a true freshman linebacker, Ben Matthews, that time, coming out of nowhere, making the tackle on the Heisman Trophy candidate in the hole. 6'1", 200-pound freshman, came out of that plebe summer. They said he lost 10 pounds, and he only weighs 200 pounds as an inside linebacker. That's a lot of credit.
It's very tough for first-year freshmen. First-year freshman at Navy is redundant because they don't have redshirt years. Very tough for them to play because of that plebe summer you spoke of. Here's Tomlinson again, and Tomlinson breaking tackles, gets it up to midfield or close to it. TCU, of course, national TV here, trying to impress some of the BCS folks who might be watching, but look at the rest of their schedule.
Yeah, Hawaii 0-2 this year after a big season last year. As you go right down the schedule in October and November, if you include today's game, those teams' composite record is 9-19. Nobody's got a winning schedule.
Some of it's misleading. Fresno State much better, believe me, much better than a 1-2 record they show. Tomlinson again tries to bounce outside, gets across midfield to the 49. And San Jose State, of course, beat Stanford and battled USC down to the final 8 minutes.
Yeah, UTEP's a better team also this year, but I'll tell you what, you talk about national championships, and when you talk to Dennis Franchione and you talk to their players, they want to compare themselves to Virginia Tech from last year. Hey, who would have thought Virginia Tech would have played the national title game? We can too. Even if they run the table, Barry, and go 11-0, I look at them more like they were Tulane a couple of years ago. They're coming out of a conference that does not have an automatic seed into the bowl championship series.
They play fake this time to Hayes Stoker, and now Printers tries to turn it up. I think Printers was the only person in the stadium who knew it was a play fake. Severson and Matthews again there on the stop.
Hey, that was a third down play also. That was third and about 2. Brings up a 4th down right around midfield. Navy's cognizant of the fact that they might not punt the football in this situation. Ran their team on late.
So Biasotti will come on to do the punting. He'll be kicking to Hubbard, who stands at the 10-yard line. Little discussion going on here between the referee and Fuller, and now we've got whistles blowing, and TCU is going to call a timeout here. Dennis Franchione talking it over. I think maybe his players were lobbying him to go for it here.
I don't think he's going to go for it. 4th and 3, 24-0. I think you punt the football, but there was some confusion on both sides of football. But I'd like to talk, it's kind of interesting. We're talking about them running the table, whether or not they can go 11-0.
Well, tomorrow we're bringing you the tailgate party with us as the NFL this morning on Fox Sports Net. The most rocking Sunday morning show, pregame show that is anywhere. Now a full 2 hours of Morning Madness just to get you ready for kickoff. Chris Myers will lead the NFL this morning, the breakfast bunch. With Chalk Talk, Trash Talk, Bagels, Donuts, and even comedian Jay Moore will return to mix things up again. That's the NFL this morning at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific only on Fox Sports Net.
Punt team still on the field.
So they will kick it away. Special teams at TCU also very effective. Long count this time. Now Biasotti left foots it away. Short kick. Hubbard runs up, takes it to the 24-yard line, and gets back to the 31. Stopped by Jason Goss.
Good job by Hubbard. I don't think Biasotti's going to be leading the country next week in that punting.
Well, that one was a little short, and there was a return. Well, here's what the two Navy quarterbacks have done so far this year.
So far today, we've had two quarterbacks. Neither of them have been effective. Only 2 complete passes between the two of them.
And that time, gang tackling. Lambert, the ball carrier.
Rashad Jamal, the pitch man. Watch what happens when you're a pitch man sometimes, folks. Look at the top of your screen. Now, we couldn't see it, but Rashad Jamal, the pitch man that time, was not even involved in the play, and he took one of those vicious hits I've seen in a long time from Bird Jones.
Yeah, and it was Jones who actually got up a little bit slowly. And now, this is not Jones, but an injured TCU player.
No, this might be him. I think it is him.
I think you're right.
Yeah, he took a shot, which was a free shot on the pitch man, and the pitch man, Rashad Jamal, jumped right up, and Jones did.
So Jones being helped off. He actually made it partway off the field. That's why I didn't think it was him, because I saw him get up and start off, and only made it halfway. Second down now. Largely a second unit playing for TCU defensively right at the moment. Here's Broadwater on the sweep, and he'll get it up to about the 38-yard line. It's going to be third down and about 4 once again.
See, part of Navy's problem when you're an option team is you don't have a sophisticated pass attack. And you look out there at Northwestern's corners, and they're playing 10, 12 yards off, way inside sometimes. If you could just step up there and make the call at the line of scrimmage, you could throw the ball over the lot right now. But they're committed to stop run.
So now it's going to be third down and 4. They're only 1 of 10.
Look, there's not even a corner in the picture. 17's a safety. There's not even a corner down below in the picture. He's 12 yards off.
And Broadwater will have to burn a timeout here. We'll take a timeout as well. Just 7:40 remaining in the game, and Navy looking up at TCU from 24 down and 4. And they're not going to get it. Stopped right there by Donald Burrell.
Charlie Owens, the weak side safety in that 4-2 alignment, did a great job filling on a 3rd and short.
And now Navy going to go. They're in that situation. They just have to do that on 4th and 2.
Go. Owen.
They need 2. And the pitch this time, and I believe they're going to give the first down.
It's going to be an interesting mark because it's one of those things where they tackled him low, he kind of bounced on his knee and then bounced forward.
And they're going to give Jamal a first down. Bryce McDonald in the ballgame now for Navy at one of the wingback positions. And Broadwater this time on the keep, nothing doing. About a yard. Aaron Schobel made sure it was no more than that.
Rashad Jamal had the wrong pitch relationship with his quarterback. He forced Broadwater to eat the football because he couldn't pitch to him.
Call it no gain. It'll be 2nd and 10. And the clock continues to tick down. The clock right now is stopped at 6:47. And we're going to get a flag against TCU for a face mask. That's their second one.
Face mask penalty on TCU. Ball is placed on the 47.
5-yard penalty.
And there's another flag. It's a little bit sloppy here at the moment.
Prior to the snap. Offsides on the defense. 5-yard penalty.
Well, there's a gimme first down.
The easy way, right? A couple of penalties.
But again, knowing Dennis Franchione, that's not going to make him happy.
I guarantee you when they watch tape, when they get back to Fort Worth tomorrow, they're not going to be happy. Defense has played well.
Remember, this is a showcase game for TCU. They do not get a lot of national television exposure, only 3 times. Here's Broadwater throwing and overthrowing the intended receiver, Dominique Bailey. And I don't know that this is one that Dennis Franchione is going to want to put into a time capsule.
Right. You know, you don't want to... I don't think you can leave here without giving Navy credit, especially defensively. I think they played a great football game. Their offense didn't help them out, didn't have many long drives. They forced Dennis Franchione's team to drive the length of the field for their only touchdowns. They didn't give them anything cheap. Navy's defense played well.
And the only times that Navy has been able to play in TCU territory has been as a result of TCU penalties. Here's Broadwater again on the keep. He's got a little seam and flags all over the place, and I think that may be again against TCU. Let's see.
Broadwater tried to fake the football and bring it back in. He lost it at the very end.
He did too, and now let's see, maybe a hold.
Yep. That'll bring it back. How many times they've been in the red zone today, Barry? Once?
Yeah, I believe once, and they came up empty.
That was the result of
penalties.
3 or 4 penalties on that drive against TCU.
I think the only times they've been in TCU territory at all has been a result of penalties.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat, 2nd down.
So they mark it from the spot of the foul, and it will make it a 2nd and 11 as the penalty occurred downfield.
2nd down, 11 from the 49.
And now TCU pointing at Navy, and again,
lineman put his hand down and brought it back up again, which is an automatic penalty once they're in the set position. Aaron Schobel did a good job telling the refs.
Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Hate kids like that.
That's a big, good-looking athlete, Aaron Schobel.
Yeah, it is.
6'4", 260. Today's his 38th consecutive start.
He's picked as the preseason player of the year, defensive player of the year in the WAC conference. Not doing anything to dissuade folks who vote for such things in this game. Broadwater to throw, steps up, he's got some room. Midfield, cuts it back nicely to the 45 to the 40-yard line. Excellent run by Brian Broadwater, and Sean Worthen drags him down from behind.
So athletic ability there for Broadwater. Trying to throw that wheel route. Take a look at Brian Broadwater here. He's trying to hit the wheel route. Here comes the pressure. Schobel, number 14, dives at him, can't get there. Here's a little cut in the open field. These Navy quarterbacks are a little quicker and a little more athletic than you might think.
Now it's 3rd and 2. Broadwater again, and he's going to get the first down at the 37-yard line. Again, it's Sean Worthen on the stop for TCU, but I believe it'll be a first down. It will.
And their left guard on that pulls out. That's Brian Schultz. Front of the quarterback gets a good job on the block on the edge and allows Broadwater to turn it up inside for a first down.
Incidentally, one thing I've been meaning to mention, if you happen to be watching in black and white, TCU has the light jerseys and dark pants, and Navy has the light jerseys and dark pants. Navy choosing to wear gold jerseys, a decision made by the team captains today.
Not widely enthused by the announcers in the booth, by the way.
No, I want to tell you. Here's the pitch this time, and a late pitch at that. Donnie Fricks was the guy who was wound up as the ball carrier. He doesn't get anything now, and they disguised that pretty well.
I asked Scott Strassmeyer, the SID from Navy, when was the last time they wore the gold shirts? And he said it's always a captain's decision, and it was 1997 against Temple in a game that Navy won.
So those shirts are 1-1.
At least in the last 3 years, yeah.
That's right. Now Broadwater checking off here. Broadwater on the keep, turned in immediately by Joe Hill. This is the second unit TCU defense that Navy is operating against, and they're doing just as well as the first unit.
Navy's offense just woefully inefficient. Can't even get to the red zone. 3 times in the first 3 games, once today.
Longest play of the day for Navy has been 10 yards. That'll give you an idea of the futility. Broadwater to throw, dragged out. That'll be a sack. Back at the 48, Chad Pugh, the redshirt freshman, and a guy who the coaches feel is going to be a player before he's all done at TCU, makes the sack.
Broadwater tried to get rid of the football late. Probably fortunate that it was called a sack and not intentional grounding. Pugh getting more playing time today because Stuart Ashley, their normal starting inside tackle, hurt his shoulder last week. Pugh splitting time with Donald Burrell.
Fourth down and a whole lot for Navy. This is asking a lot. They haven't had a play over 10 yards yet, and they're looking at a 4th down and 20, and now we're going to get a flag. It's going to be thrown from deep in the secondary. Now Navy's going to have to punt it away.
5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
I have a question, though. What's the difference between 4th and 20 and 4th and 25?
Very little.
Maybe 5 yards?
Could be 5 yards. I was never very good in math. A reminder that coming up after the game here, the College Football Saturday gang will have a post-game report. Tell you what's going on around the country. Northwestern hanging in there against Michigan State. Short kick takes a Navy bounce, and this is going to turn out pretty well for Navy. Back down at the 6-yard line.
Ball is down at the TCU 6-yard line.
24-0. Well, TCU has got it going in the right direction now. And here's why.
When Franchione took over in '98, they were 6-5 and went to a bowl game, the Sun Bowl against heavily favored USC. They totally dominated the football game. Basil Mitchell run an option for a touchdown. He and Tomlinson split time. Dennis Franchione's program upset USC that day, 28-19. And Barry, I was there, and let me tell you something. That game was not a fluke. They dominated from beginning to end, and since then, they've been 11-4.
And Dennis Franchione has called off the dogs here, going with completely a second unit. Sean Stilley is the quarterback. That's Andrew Hayes-Stoker carrying the ball. Offensive line now is entirely a backup offensive line. John Glued, Shane Ladwig, Jamal Powell, J.T. Ockenbaugh, and Brady Barrick along the offensive line.
I think that Sun Bowl game, you and I sat here yesterday and watched them practice. Remember, their Friday afternoon practice, not one person on the team for 40 minutes said a word on the field.
Yeah, and we asked Dennis Franchione about that. They throw from down here. Stilley throws, and a little bit of a wobbly pass, but the catch is made by Teran Williams. He said it's a focus day. I found that really interesting.
I did too, and I had completely forgotten, because you and I have been to enough walkthroughs to know that it's usually pretty casual, low-key. Players are having some fun. Not a word was spoken, and I got the flashback to the Sun Bowl. The USC guys were loosey-goosey. TCU guys were focused in. And let me tell you something. Dennis Franchione has a plan. His players have bought into it, and the result is on the field.
Well, Dennis, when we were talking to him about this game today, he said Navy's the kind of team that just kind of lulls you into complacency. They hold the ball, they'll go 5 yards, 5 yards, 5 yards, and he said you just can't let yourself get frustrated.
Right.
And I think that's exactly what Navy tried to do today, and it's exactly what TCU did not do.
And I give them credit for that. They kept talking on both sides of the football about being patient. Navy can frustrate you.
So Dennis Franchione will take another W today with just 1:33 left. And a reminder, the executive producers of Fox Sports Net are Arthur Smith and Bill Borson. Coordinating producers of College Football Saturday, Roy Hamilton and Gary Garcia. Today's game produced by Dennis Kirkpatrick and directed by Mike Hassan. College Football Saturday studio show produced by Loy Maxon and directed by Joe Woitas. The Vice President of Field Operations is Andrea Jenkins. Again, thanks to our spotter, Dick Quinlan. Sean Stilley, the quarterback. And Stilley thought about throwing it. Now he cuts it back, he'll run it. And he's going to be close to a first down. Stilley a little bit more traditional quarterback, more of a drop-back guy. That's the one thing that Dennis Franchione said he concerns himself with. If Casey Printers goes down, they have to go a little bit more vanilla on the offense because of the inexperience of Stilley.
Yeah, Printers is the guy. You want to talk about LT all you want, but Printers is the guy that can take him the whole way this year. He's got some talent. He's one of those guys, not just an option quarterback. He can throw the ball effectively.
And this will be measured to see if they did get the first down, and they did. So TCU will keep it, and thus, I suspect, keep the clock moving. And most of the assembled have left, and even the Navy goat is leaving as we speak here.
Is that Billy?
I think it is.
Billy number whatever.
They have special goat handlers, you know, who have to go through a training course. This is for real.
I'm not real sure that's a title I'd like to have for the rest of my life.
No, exactly. They have 2 goats now.
I'm a 2-goat handler.
Billy got married, I think, in the off-season.
You can be a goat handler or a 2-goat handler.
You can do one. You could usually do 2.
I guess it's better to be a 2-goat handler.
Those are the real professionals. You know, you got to start out with a kid. You know? And you know, those are handsome goats. Clock continuing to tick down. 27 seconds. And they give it this time to Madison, a freshman, and he picks up 10 yards. So the system stays the same and the players still play. And Dennis Franchione, again, a workmanlike effort, I thought, for his team today. And they did not get frustrated. They did not let Navy in the game ever for 1 minute. Even when the score was 3-0, you didn't have any real thought that maybe this could happen here today.
No, they were frustrated, but to their credit, they stayed patient in their game plan.
And they played well defensively, and that's the final gun. That's more than a gun. That's a final cannon. Right. Complete performance for TCU. Casey Printers, 14 of 17, 188 yards and a couple of touchdowns. Tomlinson, 33 carries, 121 yards. They weren't spectacular yards, but they were very effective yards. George Lane did the job in the defense. with a goose egg. What can you say?
And how about no turnovers in the entire football game? That's why you have to stay patient.
That's pretty impressive. So even though it was not the kind of game that we anticipated, quite frankly, we thought that TCU might run away and hide from Navy. Due credit to the Middies for hanging around, and particularly on the defensive side. And TCU comes here, does its job, sort of a briefcase game for TCU. They win it 24-0. When we come back, the College Football Saturday gang in Los Angeles will tell you about everything that's happening. And right now, let's take you to Kevin Frazier and the gang in the studio for a post-game report. Kevin, you got it.
Barry, thanks a lot, and I think you hit it right on the head. I think we expected a little bit more from TCU. Welcome to Los Angeles in the College Football Saturday post-game report alongside Kellen Winslow and Artie Gigantino. I'm Kevin Frazier, and you know, TCU gets the win. That's what we expected. But on a national stage, I think they need to put on more of a show, especially Tomlinson.
Yeah, we would have thought that Tomlinson would have had at least 300 yards in this ball game. But Dennis Franchione cannot be disappointed in the fact that his team shut out Navy, which has a decent ground game. But let's give credit also, Artie, to Charlie Weatherby's game plan defensively to hold Tomlinson to only 121 yards.
Well, like I said before, he listened to me and Mike Mayock. They gang tackled Tomlinson. But the one thing Navy's got to be able to do is throw the ball a little bit, and so does TCU. And TCU has thrown the ball at times, not for a bunch of yardage, but to loosen up the defenses that are ganging up with 8 and 9 guys around the line of scrimmage. Now, next week, TCU plays Hawaii at TCU. Look for TCU to keep rolling. But let me give you two guys, you two critics,
let me write
just
this
a
down.
little bit of advice here.
Go ahead.
Okay, the great players like a Tomlinson, he can't get 250 yards every game. It doesn't happen. The other guy's game plan too. And Navy did a good game plan.
Revelation from Artie Gigantino, the coach.
Meanwhile, since you're on a roll like that, can you help out Navy with an offensive game plan? You told them what to do on defense, but you forgot to hook them up with the offense.
Well, I said at the beginning of the broadcast that they've got to get into a little bit of a rhythm with their quarterbacks. Now, Broadwater, their quarterback, has been injured. Going into this game, they didn't know who they were going to use at quarterback. I think that's really tough to get an offensive rhythm and offensive confidence when you don't know who's the guy underneath the center. So that's Charlie Weatherby's team.
It is hard to get a rhythm going, Artie, but you've got to find a way to get that done. If it's not from your quarterback, you've got to get your running game going. And if push comes to shove, you've got to look into that bag of tricks that you use from time to time to get that offense going. A reverse, a halfback option pass, something to get that ball moving down the field. Exactly.
Yeah. All right, enough of that. Let's get on to the rest of the nation. Great game going on at the Big House right now. Number 17, Wisconsin, and number 9, Michigan.
You know, he's a big guy, and he's fast, you know. So when he come through there, you know, people don't be expecting him to be moving that fast, but he get a little crease, he going to get through there and get some yards.
Yeah, he had more carries than he's used to. But now let's look at the big picture. And I know you get tired of this Heisman word, but everybody likes to throw it around. It's only September 30th. You had 33 carries today for 121 yards. Does it get frustrating when you don't break one?
Well, I don't think it gets frustrating because I got to think of it like, you know, I got 7 more games to go. You know, this is only the 4th game of the season, and eventually, you know, it's going to happen. You know, I'm not a selfish person. As long as we keep on getting wins and, you know, 121 yards is okay with me. The win is the thing that's really important. And right now, you know, we're doing a great job of doing it.
You know, the other side of the coin here, too, and you have to face your defense every single day. And these teams that you're playing only get to see you once a season. Your defense, again, didn't allow any points, only 3 touchdowns all day, and that's a part of the big picture as well.
Yeah, it is. You know, our defense is playing lights out. You know, we always expect them to do good, and we just try to help them out a little bit and putting points on the board. I always fear if we score more than 14 points, then I don't believe anybody's going to be able to score more than 14 points on our defense. So that's my personal goal for the team is to score more than 14 points, and our defense do a great job of shutting out teams.
All right, thanks very much, LaDainian. Personal congratulations to you. You're now the all-time leading rusher at TCU, and that takes in some pretty select company. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's LaDainian Tomlinson, a bona fide Heisman Trophy candidate. Did nothing to hurt his chances today, and right now we take you back to the studios and Kevin Frazier. Kev?
Barry, thanks a lot. 9.